There's a lot more to it than just a pool. And the safety is the main thing.
We're not trying to cause them an inconvenience. We're just trying to protect their children from drowning because it's not worth it.
Summertime in Ada is hot, and more than ever before, people are jumping into private pools to cool off. While there is little more refreshing than a swim on a sweltering day, there is also little more potentially dangerous. Because of the inherent hazards involved with owning a private pool, the City of Ada maintains strict codes designed to protect its residents. If you own a pool and live inside the city limits, these codes apply to you.
A pool could be a pool, a spa, a hot tub. If it'll hold 24 inches of water or greater, it's considered a pool at that time. And then it falls under the requirements of being protected. If it holds 24 inches of water, it's regardless if it's in ground or above ground. That 24 inches is the determining factor of when it comes into play about these ordinances.
While the codes governing pools are strict, there are only a few and they are relatively simple to follow. First off, a pool cannot be located in a front yard. It must also be located at least 10 feet from a side or rear lot line. A resident interested in installing a pool is best advised to first contact the city's code enforcement department.
A pool's described as anything that holds 24 inches of water or more. So if you go out to Walmart and buy one of these little 18-inch wading pools, there is no stipulations on it. You can set it in your front yard or whatever. The location is a very instrumental thing because you can't be too close to your property lines, because when you have a pool, you're making a lot of noise and stuff that would disturb the neighbors, and then we have complaints on that. That's the reason we got setbacks.
A swimming pool must be completely contained by a permanent wall or fence that is at least 4 feet high.
It can be chain link fence as long as the holes inside the fence are not too large. It can be a solid fence. It could be part of the house. It could be a wrought iron fence. There's just numerous fences you can build. They just have to be at a certain height and a certain opening inside these, so small kids can't use them as a ladder and crawl over it or get their head stuck in a wrought iron and actually choke themselves to death. So there's no stipulations of what kind of fence. It's just how they are built is the main part of it.
Sometimes even fences, depending on what style they are, may not be enough to prevent potential accidents. Take it from a man who installed privacy fence on all sides of his pool except one, so as not to block a chain link section he shared with a friendly neighbor.
I was right over there by my filters, and I looked around behind me, and there was a little boy. He'd climbed that fence. I didn't see him climb the fence. I had my back to him, and he was headed for the pool. Well, I hollered at him, and that didn't faze him. I didn't know at the time he was autistic, and so I had to reach out and catch him and hold him. And but this incident really brought to light safety feature with me. Now, I had never put that fence up across between me and my friend there. And I'll tell you one thing, that fence was up before the day was over. I didn't wait one day. I put that fence up that day. It's hard to think back what could have happened if I hadn't have been there at the time that little boy climbed those fences. Well, I never thought of an autistic kid. I didn't even know there's one in the neighborhood. And I wouldn't have thought about him climbing 2 4-foot chain link fences to get to the pool. But it was a sobering experience, I'll tell you.
If a fence that encloses a pool has gates, those gates must be self-closing and all latching apparatus must be on the inside, far enough from the top so that someone outside the fence cannot reach over and open it.
You can see mine. There's privacy fence all the way around it now. And the gates have no outside latches on them. They all latch from inside. The only way you can open one of those gates is from inside the pool area. And I made it that way so nobody could pick them and come in.
While the gate ordinance is designed to protect outsiders from coming in, there is another ordinance designed to protect younger members of the family from getting harmed in their own backyards.
Anytime that a door opens up to the pool area, you're required to have an audible sound on that door that will go off. It has to buzz at least 30 seconds and be loud enough to be heard anywhere in the house itself. When the door is closed, it has to be able to reset itself after that 30-second sounding of the alarm. So the next time it's open, it's ready to sound again. And it's a requirement on any door that enters into the pool area, regardless if it's an open garage door or a 3-0 door or a back door. Anything opening into that area is required to have it. If you have a door latch that's over 54 inches high, so a child can't reach it to unlatch it, then you're not required that buzzer.
Most contractors or private citizens installing larger pools understand they must obtain permits before work begins. But many who purchase either hot tubs or inflatable swimming pools are unaware they are also subject to the same safety codes.
And that is a great problem because of the fact they don't have to come and get a permit if they buy it. So they just not knowing the system that the city requires and the state law requires, they'll go down to some place, buy a pool, and then they'll just take it out and set it up, not knowing they're in violation of any codes. And it's just not being informed is the problem. Not that they mean to do it, they're just not informed about it.
If a city inspector discovers a pool-related code violation, he will issue a notice for compliance. The pool in violation must be drained immediately for safety reasons, with no exceptions. The pool owner will then have 2 weeks from the date of the notice to meet code. If code isn't met, the violation may result in as much as a $500 fine plus court costs. The city officials hope that safety alone is enough incentive for pool owners to comply with codes.
Privacy fence costs so little to protect so much. That pool's been there over 40 years. There's never been an accident in it. I'm proud of my safety record. There's a lot of kids that learn to swim and scuba dive and everything else in that pool.
Please come in compliance. We're not trying to make it difficult on you. We just want to protect your children and the welfare of the city.